Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Alicia Menendez. We're joined today by Bill Hanbury. He's the president and CEO of United Way of the National Capital Area. Bill, thanks so much for joining us.
Alicia, good to be here. Thanks.
Tell me a little bit about the populations the United Way serves.
Well, you know, there's 6 million people in the metropolitan region, and that really is our constituency. And, you know, we have 6 of the 10 wealthiest counties in America sitting right in our own backyard here, which is actually quite wonderful. But with all that bounty, there's also a lot of needs. Right. And for the first time in history, homelessness is up, food banks are overwhelmed, foreclosures are up because of the economy, unemployment is at really record levels, particularly in some neighborhoods in the District of Columbia. And there are a lot of needs. So with all of that bounty and all those needs, that's where United Way steps in and connects all of our wealth and all of our richness with those compelling community needs.
And United Way has national branches across the country.
It does.
How are the needs of the DC community unique?
Well, they're unique in some respects because of the fact that there is so much bounty and there is so much need. We have like never before been overwhelmed in food banks and homeless shelters, and people just assume that there isn't these problems that are existing, and they actually do exist. I mean, and folks need to be cognizant of that and have a sense of social responsibility about those compelling needs.
And I guess people do, because you have a very strong volunteer corps.
Absolutely, and you know, there's over in our campaign, there's over 3,000 locations that are workplace giving campaigns throughout the region. Over 150,000 people will contribute in those locations. With the combined federal campaign and federal employees, almost 300,000 federal employees will contribute to their campaign. So there is a terrific interest and a terrific sense of giving across the region. But we need to do more than we've ever done before.
And so when we talk about doing more and we talk about getting involved, what are some of the ways in which one can get involved?
Well, I think first and foremost, if you have a workplace giving campaign in your location where you're working, you ought to contribute to that. You ought to make this connection between the richness that you may have in your life and with the needs in our community. And so that could be one way. Certainly to volunteer would be another great way. And you could go to UnitedWayNCA.org and find out about volunteering opportunities. They're across the whole spectrum. And whether it's in a homeless shelter or in mentoring or in literacy programs, there's a wide array of volunteer opportunities that people can connect into. And I would suggest to you that the needs are very significant, and we need as many people as we can get to address those needs.
And when you meet people who have benefited from the United Way's services, what is their response to this institution?
It's all positive. I mean, United Way has a terrific brand, and there are over 950 organizations in the United Way system here in the National Capital Area. And they do great work. They do great work, and they connect to literally hundreds of thousands of people. And so at the end of the day, there's tremendous value from the United Way system in what we do.
And which of these efforts do you think sort of, I don't want you to prioritize, but think of one that you think really captures the spirit?
You know, I can't think of one, but I will tell you that the basic needs are fundamental to what the United Way does. Providing support for homeless shelters and food banks, because there are a lot of people that are in foreclosure that, because of the economic problems, are out of work, and they need these safety net services that United Way is funding for our agencies. And I would suggest to people that those are things that are fundamental to our sense of social responsibility, and something that we really need to continue to work on.
And in one word, if you could capture for me the feeling of being a part of this organization, what would it be? Energy.
There is tremendous energy around this United Way and around our effort to fill the breach here that exists between all of this bounty and all of these needs.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Bill.
It's good to see you. Thanks.
If you want to learn more about what's going on in your community, you can click on Demand, Get Local. For Comcast Newsmakers, I'm Alicia Menendez.